Thank you so much for joining us, and we're gonna continue with the 50 years of hip hop. Appreciate you joining us, and we're gonna continue with the conscious wave, which is from 1983 to 2000. Quote: What I really wanted to do was something that would expand hip hop and not limit it. End quote. Comment on MTV. While the new school and golden hip hop eras artists savored their mainstream success, conscious rappers worked on a style that was counter to the genre's more commercially popular forms, continuing to experiment with sampling and other production techniques. These artists used music to express their views on a wide variety of topics, including race, politics, poverty, and the environment. Nas' Illmatic and Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt are personal narratives about growing up in and hustling out of poverty-stricken urban neighborhood. While Mos Def and Talib Kweli's collaborative Black Star forgoes '90s gangster rap tropes and dives into celebration and examination of blackness. In contrast to mainstream hip hop tendency towards materialistic or violent subject matter, conscious rap was often seen as more positive form of the genre, aimed towards the overall maturation of hip hop's music and lyrics that encourage listeners to think critically about the world. And then we have the East versus West from 1991 to 1997. Quote: Whatever your commitment to the music and the culture was, somebody sacrificed their life for it. End quote. By journalist Rob Marriott, The Ringer. New York originated the East Coast hip hop style, which is known for its complex and multi-syllabalistic rhymes and hard-hitting beats that call for active listening over dancing. California is the birthplace of West Coast hip hop, which is known for its laid-back psychedelic G-funk sounds. The '90s saw the release of landmark albums for East and West Coast artists, including Wu-Tang Clan Into the 36 Chambers, Dr. Dre's The Chronic, and Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. Gangster rap emerged from the East and West Coast during the later portion of hip hop's golden age. Music from this period was categorized as aggressive hardcore rap, performance, and politically charged lyrics that attacked social and racial injustice. Though the style generated plenty of controversy for its artists, gangster rap was the most lucrative form of hip hop during the mid to late 1990s. The New York and California gave rise to several hip hop most popular and most respected artists, including Notorious Big and Tupac. But by 1994, by 1994, the two coasts were locked in a bitter rivalry for stylistic dominance and respect that ultimately culminated in the shooting deaths of Tupac in 1996 and Biggie in 1997. This absolutely rocked the world. I mean, man. Okay, so the East and West Coast beef, that I don't know where to begin with that. I actually remember there's this iconic I want to say Source Awards where Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg goes up there and he just like goes off on everybody and he's like, so you ain't got no love for Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre? You ain't got no love for the West Coast? It was just crazy. It was like Puffy and Suge were taking shots at each other back and forth, talking about if you don't want a producer that's dancing in the video, which a lot of people made that case even way before he said that. That was one of my main criticisms of Puff Daddy too. It's like he was he was I would say he was all in the shots more than Biggie in this biggest video. But anyway, yeah, that was. I think there was an incident too, like on the golf course, too, with like Nate Dogg and like Daz, and like man, it was that was crazy time. I'm not gonna lie, too. That was crazy. Actually, the whole '90s period, and then not just talking about like as far as like hip hop and music, as far as like everything. Because I think that was around the OJ trial that was going on too. So you had that whole thing. As far as sports, Michael Jordan was still dominating. He was just doing his thing as always, killing everybody. It was it was a crazy time. You know, you had the whole Bill Clinton thing and Monica Lewinsky. So like the whole '90s was crazy, man. It was, and all of that, and music reflected all of that stuff too. Then you can that's you hear a lot of rhymes reference that, especially if you hear anyone talk about getting some Lewinsky, something like that. That's 100% of the time that's what they talking about. But moving right along, and some of the albums, like I was obviously Dr. Dre, The Chronic, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, Notorious Big, Ready to Die, Wu Tang, Into the 36 Chamber, Tupac, All Eyes on Me. It was yeah, it was a good time. And anyway, and not only that, so remember, so during from the '90s, you had the East and West Coast thing. Now during that time, while the East and West Coast doing that thing, that's when the South really came up from 1990 to 2005, and what is known as the rise of Southern rap. Quote, but it's like this: the South got something to say. That's all I got to say. End quote. Andre 3000 at the 1995 Source Award. I'm telling you that. I don't. Oh, man. Anyway, hip hop's popularity grew, and hip hop's popularity continued to grow throughout the '90s, and regional styles, particularly Southern rap, began to make waves nationally. Southern hip hop originated from the four key cities: Houston, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Memphis. Houston Ghetto Boys were the first Southern hip hop group to gain mainstream popularity, due in part to their hit Mind Playing Tricks on Me, which was featured in a 1991 album, We Can't Be Stopped. Texas based rapper Pimp C and Bun B of UGK furthered Southern rap's influence in the mainstream through the smash hit Big Pimpin' with Jay-Z in 2000. The New Orleans was the birthplace of Master P No Limit Records, as well as Ronald Slim Williams and Brian Birdman Williams Cash Money. Throughout the '90s and early in 2000s, the labels released records by influential Southern artists such as C Murder, Juvenile, Mystical, 504 Boys, and Lil Wayne. While Atlanta is regarded as hip hop's current culture center, this wasn't always the case. Cities artists cities artists had to fight for recognition from industry heavyweights on both East and the West Coast. When Outkast won the 1995 Source Award for Best New Artist after their release of their debut Southern Playlist Cadillac Music, they were they were booed during their acceptance speech. Atlanta rapper T.I. later noted that Andre 3000's response to this moment was when the industry began to take Southern rap seriously. End quote. Man, that right there, I think I remember that. I might have missed that, but yeah, Southern rap is it was hard for Southern rap to get the recognition that they get now. It was super hard. A lot of people didn't take Southern rap seriously. Yeah, there's Pimp C, Bun B, UGK. Respect goes out to them. Salute to Master P and what he did. I remember before they was all big when what was the album when Master P he talked about this all the time when he talks about going from these different cities selling his mixtapes. He did and he actually met a lot of people in doing that, and then he started making what is it, the West Coast Bad Boys mixtapes. That those were some of my favorites. Those are some of my favorite mixtapes. The West Coast Bad Boys 1 and 2, all that stuff. Cash Money, salute to them. Cash Money, obviously, Hot Balls was one of the hottest things in the South. Like you couldn't go nowhere without hearing Hot Balls. I had pretty much every album that was made, and that's the thing too. At that time, No Limit, they were a machine because they had so many people signed to it, and everybody was just pumping out records. Like Man, No Limit. Like I said, my CD collection. I know that brings up memories. But anyway, my CD collection was pretty much all No Limit Cash Money. That's it. That's it. It was all them too. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was some UGK. There was some Mysticals. I remember Mystical first album. He wasn't with Cash Money, and then he signed with them. Is it Cash Money or No Limit? I think he went back and forth those two. But anyway, yeah. I was so happy once the South finally got the recognition that they deserve. And even still, it was still hard to like for any other artist come out of the South because you was always compared to any of these guys. And not to mention, they don't mention who is it? Goody Mob too. They also they were also at the forefront of like the conscious wave part as far as in the South, um, right along. And Andre 3000, him too, he later started coming to that role. But some of the albums that came out was, like I said, was Ghetto Boys Can't Be Stopped, UGK Riding Dirty, Outkast, Southern Playlist, The Cadillac Music, T.I. Trap Music, 3 6 Mafia, who they don't really talk about, who really, they got a lot of, they they got a lot of shit thrown at them for their style. It was really simplistic. It was really chopped, like one at a time, like one, two, which from what I got now, it's like pretty much is what they use now. They just auto tune it. But anyway, then the South. Now, during the South dominance, of course, you all know Cash Money, Lil Wayne, and them, they all coined the term Bling Bling, which was from 1997 to the early 2006. Quote, Bling Bling, I know, and did you know I'm the creator of it? Lil Wayne on Outkast, Hollywood's Divorce. End quote. Hip hop's bling bling era brought forth a regression of sorts to the genre's old school form. Music from this era placed a greater emphasis on beats rather than lyrics. And lyrics from Bling Bling era song often focused on braggadocio and materialism. Mm. Bling area production was more sophisticated, however, and included tight R&B style hooks that delivered popular singers such as Ashanti, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, as well as pop and soul samples from the 70s and 80s. This area marked a time of great commercial success for rap and its artists. Many of them whom found themselves on top in the charts throughout the decade. Golden artists Golden era artists remain important figures in hip hop during this period, such as Dr. Dre, who went on went went on to executive produce 50 Cent's debut album Get Rich or Die Trying, which is certified classic now. The advent of alternative distribution channels and rise of online piracy led to a decline in album sales, effectively ending hip hop's album eras and ushering the beginning of digital downloads and music streaming. And some of the hip hop albums they mentioned was Ja Rule's Pain is Love, Get Rich or Die Trying, The Carter 2, Lil Wayne, of course, Nellyville. That was a great hit. Missy Elliott on the construction. Mm. Now, from there, from 2004, from the present, which is known as, that's been kind of a resurgence of conscious. Hip hop has kind of like reached a point of like the highest commercialized since it's been super commercialized. It's all over the place, which is I want to say good for hip hop, but we all know who gets all the benefits of that. But anyway, now we come to the conscious resurgence where from 2004 to present, that's when artists like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are being more celebrated than some of the other gangster artists. It's starting to get more repetitive, starting to sound the same, everything. There are some differences. I'm not saying it's all bad. It's just like a like a different subgenre that's starting to branch off, that's becoming really big. Anyway, the conscious the conscious hip hop area, uh, comes where it's head again in the mid 2000s, this time in response to the materialism that defined the Bling era. Rappers looking to return to the tradition of rhyming about emotion and personal life experience gained traction with new artists who had renewed interest in independent artists. Those operating in this niche also benefit from the use of the internet for music consumption and promoting during this period. Although conscious hip hop pioneers made it possible for artists to craft identities around socially conscious themes, some of the subgenre artists are the biggest names in hip hop today, such as Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, chronicles his experience growing up in Compton, California, against the backdrop of a disenfranchised, violent, and brutality of the city. That that there's been like a pushback to um I guess you can say with the internet and all the streaming services really made artists step their game up, because now consumers have the choice to pick and choose what songs they want to listen to. And I think now we don't have to accept these songs that's been stuffed down in our face, just like the radio did, or they force us to listen to these certain songs. We all know about the payola trick and all that stuff, where they were paying these DJs to play these songs and stuff like that. And with the internet, excuse me, and the piracy, that gave the consumer to choose which songs that we like, instead of having them tell us what songs we should like and stuff like that. And I think it really made them step their game up, which also made them take more from the artists, and now artists get pennies, literally not even a whole penny on a song on these streaming platforms. This is not unlike what the writer strike was going through. So I wonder if there's going to be an artist strike pretty soon or something like that, or a producer strike. That would be something that we'll talk about. And some of the albums that they on list here is 2012 Good Kid, Mad City, Lupe Fiasco, The Cool. That's a good album. I listen to that. Cadillac, Big Crit, also from Mississippi. DiCaprio 2, JID, and Victory Lab. Classic album, Nipsey Hussle, a West Coast artist, rest in peace. And next, they talk about 2006 to 2014, the blog area. The blog area. Quote, we were just going to put out music we enjoy. The next month, we got 225, I'm sorry. Next month, we got 25,000 hits. Unquote, two dope boys, co-founder Mika Yuda Revolt. I don't know. I just messed that whole segment up. Anyway, you know what? We're gonna power through it. We're gonna do this raw and uncut. Cause if I go through and edit it, I'm gonna listen to stuff and it's gonna procrastinate, and I'm not gonna put the shit out. So anyway, the blog area. As the internet created new music distribution channels and record sales began to decline, emerging artists started new tools to promote their releases and finding new audiences for their music. At the start of what came to be known as the blog era, Atlanta-based rapper Soulja Boy became one of the first artists to harness the power of the internet for music promotion, using social media sites like MySpace and online video services like YouTube and Ustream. Soulja Boy effectively marketed his way into a viral hit with Crank That Soulja Boy. During the blog area, music blog and social media became crucial pathways that allow artists to reach newer, younger, and wider audiences. Musically, hip hop began to take a more melodic direction during this period. During the blog era removed the barriers to entry into the music industry for many new artists. At the start of their careers, including including Drake, J. Cole, and Nicki Minaj, but allowed them to self-publish their song and offer their projects as free digital downloads. This I like to call this the consumer area. This is where when artists and people starting to realize, like, wait a minute, this internet, I can do my own thing. What do I need the label for? Like, I can do my own thing. See, a lot of people hate me this, but you know what? That is one of the reasons why I will put Soldier Boy as far as one of the hip hop. I would say I don't want to say Mount Rushmore because that's to be only four, but I would say he would probably be an honorable mention as one of the people who actually changed hip hop. A lot of people don't like to give Soldier Boy his credit, but you know what? He showed everybody how to use the internet. He showed everyone how you don't need the labels. Like, I don't have to wait for the labels to tell me I'm a good artist. You know, I don't need someone to tell me that I have to make music this way because that's the way you do it. You know, and that's what he did. And the same thing with Master P did. He took his destiny in his own hand. He sold his own mixtape. He same way you would nickel and dime when you buy an ounce of weed. You take that and you break it down. You try to at least make a 30 $40 profit. You go back and you do it again. You rinse and repeat. And that's what they did. And yeah, that's a good area. And some of the albums that they list. Soldier Boy, Tell'em.com, Cushion OG, Wiz Khalifa, Drake, Take Care, Beam Me Up, Scotty, Nicki Minaj, 2014, here, Forest Hill Drive by J. Cole. That Forest Hill Drive, that was a classic album, man. That came out. Whew, man, I knew he was gonna be a powerhouse. I just knew when as soon as I heard that, oh yeah. I was like, that that's when I kind of start feel like there's like a literal formula to making the hit records. I was like, because his selection of samples and just melodies that he chose, he knew what artists to hit. He knew how to hit that 90s. Just his references talking about Uncle Phil and that whole thing with Fresh Prince, knowing that we grew up on stuff like that right alongside with him. Like, man, the only thing missing was a reference to having a crush on Wendy. Anyway, next, 2006, the president came up with the alternative revival. Quote, I know you see, I'm sorry, quote, I know you're seething and angry. Ugh, no one's listened to the album. These arena tours are not selling out. And it's a title. I fucked that. That was Tyler the Creator. Wait. Oh, okay. Okay, I know what that is. So that was Tyler the Creator winning the album. That was Tyler the Creator winning the Grammy for award for best rap. You know what? We're gonna take a break right there. When I come back, we're gonna talk about that. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let me just say thank you so much if you're still with us, and I really appreciate you so far. So next up, we got the alternative hip hop revival, or the alternative revival. Now I know I messed up that quote, so let me try that again. I know you're seethed and angry. Ugh, no one listened to that album. These arena tours are selling out, say it's different. End quote. Tyler the Creator on winning the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. Now, before I start, let me give you a little background on that. So, I there was kind of a little back and forth between DJ Khaled and Tyler the Creator. DJ Khaled had some, I guess you could say, choice words for Tyler the Creator style, which I admit his first album wasn't really for me. Um, Last album was a whole lot better. I like it. I listen to it. Earthquake is probably one of my favorite songs from him. But anyway, so and what happened was DJ Khaled and Tyler the Creator both put out an album roughly around the same time, and DJ Khaled album had it was just nothing but heavy hitters. It was Jay-Z, Beyonce, just I want to say 50 Cent, just like all types of people, just like all the who's who of hip hop and R&B, just all over the album, just stacked. But at the same time, Tyler the Creator album was I think there was some I'm pretty sure there was some features on there, but not nothing like DJ Khaled's album. Long story short, Tyler the Creator won, and that was like his speech when he accepted the award. Anyway, so while hip hop artists have always worked in a range of styles that didn't fit the mainstream, alternative hip hop reached a critical mass of practitioners in the wake of the blog era. Alternative artists pushed hip hop boundaries, shrugging off the genre's traditional forms and blurring the lines between funk, pop, rock, jazz, soul, and reggae styles. Fueled by listeners' interest in independent artists and the diversification of music distribution channels, alternative hip hop became increasingly experimental. Despite the artists and albums from this era have found acceptance and acclaim from far-reaching audiences, including Tyler the Creator's or horrorcore album Goblin and Tierra Whack's offbeat collection of 1 minute tracks on her debut project Whack World. And some of the albums that they list is Because of the Internet by Childish Gambino, Man on the Moon, The End of the Day, Kid Cudi, Whack World by Tierra Whack, XXX, Danny Brown, and of course Goblin by Tyler the Creator. And see, this is just pretty much the combination of people realizing they have the power to take their lives in their own hands, or at least their destinies in their own hands. And this is the result. This is what comes from that when people decide to make their own tracks and not worry about trying to get a Dr. Dre track or a DJ Clue beat or something like that. You're not trying to redo your own thing, and this is part of the reason why a lot of people hate. I don't want to say hate, but they really dislike DIYers, people like me and us who doing stuff in their garage and stuff. They really hate all the people that use the FL Studios, the Ableton and stuff like that. That's why they say industry standards. But honestly, I always say I think we should even stop using that term industry standards because the industry has no standards. But anyway, moving right along, we got the rise of trap from 2014 to present. Now keep in mind, trap music has always been around, but I don't think never had this been. I think because honestly, at a certain point, pretty much all of hip hop was pretty much trap music, with a select few. So I think now that you got all these different styles and genres, you got like the Tyler the Creators, the Nas's and the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's, and then you got the old school, the Melly Mels and stuff like that. The KRS-One. So you got all your different genres and different types of hip hop and stuff like that. So trap slowly came into its own genre. So now with the rise of trap, quote, we're the pop stars and trap rap is pop now, end quote. 2 Chainz in the Rolling Stones interview. Trap music originated in Atlanta and since the early 2000s has grown to become a global phenomenon. Trap's production style uses synthesized drums, complex hi-hat patterns, and very few instruments to create a distinctive sound. Since 2014, trap has dominated the Billboard charts and a range of artists working in style, such as Fetty Wap, Ray Sermon, Cardi B, and more, have released chart-topping singles such as Travis's Sicko Mode spent 30 weeks on the number one on the Hot 100, becoming the first hip-hop song to top the chart for such a long period of time. Trap has influenced other genres including pop, K-pop, contemporary R&B, reggaeton, musica urbana, throughout the 2010. Pop singers such as Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande utilized trap production in their releases. Trap music's popularity led to the continued growth for the genre in 2018, and hip hop surpassed rock as the most popular form of music for the first time. I think um it was always the more popular form of music. I just think that rock and roll was so prevalent at the time that it was because you got to think you had rock and roll has been around for a while, and rock and roll has been used in a lot more movies and things like that. So and hip hop actually, because remember hip hop sampled from rock and roll. There was Run DMC. They did that song with was it Kid Rock or Kiss? It was Rock This Way. That was the name of the song. So hip hop and rock kind of go hand in hand, but as far as like kind of their styles, actually, you could take some like rock beats and just change the tempo, and it'll be a rap beat, guaranteed. It just the guitar would just be a little bit different. It'd be have electric guitar. So some of the albums that some of the essential trap albums released during that time was Travis Scott, Astro Worlds, Culture Migos, DS2 Future, So Much More, Young Thug, Rich Slave by Young Dolph. And that is it for 50 years of hip hop. Tell me what was your favorite what do you think about that? What were your favorite albums that you think that may have changed hip hop? What artists you think that may have changed hip hop? Just let me know what you think. And as always, y'all stay true. Peace.